If you want to see me create my first look using the Mini Gold palette by Natasha Denona, then stick around. Hi there, it's Hélène and welcome back, or if it's your first time here, welcome to HMM Makeup or Makeup. I have done a few things with this palette. I have duped this palette. I have swatched this palette. And the one thing I haven't done is actually put it on my eyes. And I was planning way back when I had swatched the palette to actually do a look with it. And it just, probably because of its size, to be honest, I think I just forgot about it. And I just uncovered it recently in my makeup collection and looked at the pans and went, oh my gosh, I've only swatched it. I didn't even have to look at my videos. I knew that I had not applied this palette to my eyes. And I think that we can do that today. So that is the plan. There are 5 beautiful shadows in here. And I thought I might do a nice sultry look with the palette. And can I just get just a little moment for my first Christmas nails of the year? I'm very happy with how those turned out. They are, one of them is a Deborah Lippmann, the red, and then the other nail polish little accent is from Ciate, London. I'm feeling Christmassy, and I'm getting into the spirit of the holiday, and I think that that's part of why when I came across this little palette that I knew that I should do a look, because it definitely gives me the Christmas vibes, the holiday season vibes. And I feel like I'm starting to stall, so let's get into it. I'm going to go after the shadows that I think are most intimidating, and that would be this one and this one. So those are the 2 that I want to use because I feel like these guys and this one are pretty much a no-brainer. So I'll focus on these 2, but I also use a transition color, and that will be this one. That will be my transition and deepening and accent on the inner to 2/3 of the lid. I have my plan. Let's get right into it. By the way, if you have not subscribed yet to this channel and you watch a number of my videos, a lot of my content, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. That would be fantastic. I am going to use my BH Cosmetics number 5 brush, and I'm going to go into that kind of khaki green that I mentioned earlier that I want to use. And here I'm thinking there's a mirror. No. So let me just grab a different palette. Okay, so back in here, and I'm just going to do one eye and do the other eye off camera, which is my usual kind of mode. Okay, and I've been making big friends with greens, so I'm really now quite comfortable with using green. Now this particular one, which is kind of a khaki, that would never have been an issue for me. It was more the very, very wild kind of green colors, the very bold green colors that were more of an issue. This is pretty tame in my view. And it's going on really well, but of course a fluffy brush does tend to make that happen with a matte. Good, and I'm going to take what's left on the brush and go on my very inner upper lid. Yeah, I could have this as a one and done, just bringing it down on the lower lash line and putting on liner and mascara and be done. I mean, this is a very pretty shadow, and it did apply very effortlessly, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now I'm going to go in with a smaller brush and go back into that khaki and try to just intensify the outer lid. It's setting on the eye well enough, meaning establishing itself on the eye with very little effort. So based on that, I don't feel like I need to put on a packer brush, use a packer brush to put on the shadow. And I keep looking because it's just, I keep thinking I have some things to adjust, and I really don't. This is really quite easy. So I want to bring that green on the lower lash line. And I'm actually going to just use this miniature smudger brush because I think that that's all I need to just bring the shadow down, because it's not a very bright color. And I think it can just act as liner. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. Don't know if you can hear them, but the kids outside are having just a fantastic time. I don't know what they're playing, but they're playing something. Okay, that just, all I'm doing is using this. It's so easy. I wish I had tried this sooner. Jeez. Okay, so that is the base of the look. Now I'm going to add the bling, obviously. I'm going to start off with this color right here to deepen up the outer lid, and then go into the last color at the end there. I think it's going to end up being quite a beautiful look. So let's go with a deep color. And for that purpose, I'm just going to use a relatively dense, fluffy brush. It's dense in that it's shorter bristles, but it should still work well with the shadow. So I'm using this kind of chocolatey brown. I think it's chocolatey brown anyway. Guess we'll find out. I'm just going to top a little bit of the khaki here. Khaki olive green. Almost like a hybrid between the two colors. I'm not picking up a whole lot, so I'm almost swirling into the pan with the brush. I think I'm going to just switch to my finger just to finish that off. It's kind of a gradient between a satin chocolatey color and the green. Okay, that looks good. I have some fallout, not a big deal. And yeah, I've got some fallout here and here, so there's quite a bit of fallout. I'll probably have to redo my concealer underneath, which is, it's not a big deal. It happens from time to time. I'm just going to see if I can actually brush it off with this brush from Smashbox. I tend to use it to get rid of excess powder. Oh yeah, that came right off. Perfect. So this this lovely kind of one-sided powder brush, it tends to save my bacon very often with colorful looks. Okay, that looks a little weird. It's all right. Okay, now, is it looking and behaving the way I want it to? I would say yes. And I want to bring that matte green, olive green, just further in. It just looks like it needs it. So it's kind of that mixture of olive green and a bit of the brown, satiny brown that was mixed in with it. And that looks pretty good. Okay, now we are ready for this lovely glam type of shadow. And for the application, at least in the corner, I'm going to use my multitasker brush that I absolutely love. I don't know what I'm going to do when that brush is done, because it's my go-to every single time. I will mourn its departure when it has to leave my collection. Okay, so that's all I wanted to do, just to take care of the corner because the finger can't get quite to it. And I'm just going to press in the shadow to get it everywhere I want to. I think that's looking pretty nice. And up I go. Just to make sure I'm on the crease, following the crease of my eye. I'm really liking this. I'm really liking this. And just because I used the mini smudger, there's enough color here. I don't feel like I need to add anything. I like the gradient up to the brow bone. That has turned out really well. And so I'm going to finish this look and then do the other side off camera and then show you the final look. So let's get into the liner. And for the liner, I'm going to use my Lise Watier liner. I've used it a few times recently, and it's just nice to take out liners and different makeup products that we don't necessarily always reach for. And this one, I have to say, I really do like. And it was off to the wayside for a little bit, for no good reason. Just, you know, I'm trying a different brand. I'm using something else, and right now I'm using this one. I'm using the Stila Stale Day, the Estee Lauder little black liner, a number of them. And this is the one that won today. Just depends on my mood. And this is a felt tip. It's not a brush tip. And Lise Watier, if you're not familiar, is a Canadian brand, at least based in Canada. Okay, so that turned out really well. And I decided I was going to take the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara as a finishing touch for mascara. And I do like the brush, quite volumizing. I don't find that the waterproof works quite as well. But certainly if I need a waterproof mascara, I wouldn't say no to using the waterproof version, and I do own the waterproof version. It's not quite as good for getting that whole volume effect as this regular one is. I'm very happy with this look. I just have a tiny bit of cleanup under my eye, and of course to replicate it on the other side. But I'm really quite pleased with the way it's turning out, especially for a first impressions. You know, like I said, I've swatched this palette, but I've never used it for a look that I could find anyway. And I was a little bit surprised, but I guess the swatches left quite a good impression, and I just thought I'd used it. So yeah, let me do the other side and we'll take a look at how it turns out. Okay, this is the final look. I am really happy with the way it turned out. I just kept it with a very basic lip and very basic overall face makeup. And the look, it's sultry, but it's festive. I really think it turned out well, and I purposefully used the deepest shadows in the look that I could make. So this one and this one, they're both very deep and sultry. And so if you can make a look reasonably wearable day to night, that's a really good indication of a palette that is quite approachable. Very often the deeper colors you can overbuild way too quickly, and it becomes a mess, and you almost feel like you've got a œil noir. How do you say it in English? A black eye. It can very easily look like you have a black eye because it just kind of gets out of control really quickly. Well, I challenged these shadows, and I'm really pleased with how these guys performed. I didn't really go with the easy stuff. What would be easy? I would say that using this one and creating a look would be a very easy look, or just using these two maybe. I really feel like it did a great job, and it wasn't very long. I mean, you saw the one eye before I went off camera and recreated the other one. It wasn't all that long, and I was stopping to explain what I was doing and whatnot. So that's longer than it would normally take if we're in front of our mirror and just going in and getting it done. I kind of want to do more looks, but I don't know how many people have access to this mini gold palette. If you have this palette and you want to see some more look ideas for the holidays coming up, by all means, leave me a comment. Let me know, especially the colors that are interesting to you. So I'll just put the palette right side up, and I'll say number 1 to 5. And just let me know what it is that you want me to use. And if you have specific placement as well, I can certainly play around with that. I'll only do a couple. So if you are interested, just let me know in the comments in the video. And if you like a combo someone else has selected, how about giving that one a thumbs up as opposed to creating another look requests, just to see if we can kind of agree. And I'll do one more for sure, but if I have enough demand, I'll do some more looks. So I kind of figure 50-50 chance that folks want to see more, because it is now at this point an older palette, and I was just late to the game, and probably the reason being that it was a very small palette, only 5 shadows, and a lot of other palettes were kind of needing my attention and review last year. So yeah. Moving on, I do hope that you enjoyed watching this look come about, and if you have any thoughts, comments, of course, as I mentioned, please leave me a comment below. And with that, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, as always, take care.